Welcome to a lesson about data privacy. This is a very important lesson. In this lesson, we're going to talk about the top 6 best practices, ChatGPT Enterprise plan, and ChatGPT Plus has a mode called temporary chat, which we'll look into. Let's begin. So the first thing we want to do, these are my top 6 just best practices when using not just ChatGPT, but any AI model that is privately owned. So, like Claude, ChatGPT, Poe, any of these AI models, they are owned by large corporations, and their main goal is to harvest data. Once they harvest that data, it's going to be used for training data for future models. That's just the basic thing of it. So we want to first one, avoid inputting sensitive information. Never enter any personal data, confidential company information, or protected health information (PHI) covered by HIPAA into ChatGPT or just any AI model in general. The AI model retains information from conversations, so any sensitive data entered could be potentially exposed because a company could get hacked, and then all the chat history could be released. It hasn't really happened yet, but that is a common case, or that could happen in the future. So never, it happens. Look, when you start using these models, you're going to start putting in personal information, especially when you start using it like a medical diagnosis and kind of thing. Just anonymize it, basically. So brings us to our next one. Use anonymized or generalized examples. When seeking advice or discussing work-related topics, use fictional scenarios or generalized examples instead of real cases, removing any identified details that could be linked back to specific individuals, or especially if you're working for a large organization or company. This is just a huge it's a big topic, so we want to make sure you're protecting information of the privacy of individuals and also intellectual property from companies. Next one, enabled enhanced data protection settings. If available, utilize any privacy enhanced features or settings offered by the AI platform. ChatGPT does offer one, which I'll show, or two. This may include options to disable conversation history or limit data retention. Remember, any data that you put into these AI models is retained, saved, and used for training future data or training future models. So they do save the data of all your chats. Review outputs before sharing. Carefully review any generated content before using it externally. Ensure there's no confidential information has inadvertently been used in the AI responses, especially if you're private practice and you're putting clients' information in. You want to anonymize it so that it doesn't link to any of your clients there, basically. Implement clear usage policies. Organizations should establish and communicate clear guidelines on the appropriate use of AI tools like ChatGPT. These policies should outline what types of information can and cannot be shared and provide training on data privacy best practices. If you work for a large organization or you manage a team and you want your team to use AI in your business, you need to roll out a training program for your employees to let them know what are best practices on how to use AI in the company. You also want to be selective about which AI models do you use, and also making sure that you're on certain plans so that company information does not get leaked. Lastly, use secure company-approved platforms. When possible, use enterprise versions of AI tools that offer enhanced security features and compliance controls. Avoid using personal accounts or unauthorized platforms for work-related queries. So, you don't want to use your personal ChatGPT account that links to your personal email in your work environment and then releasing company or going to or asking company-related inquiries, which basically is sharing private intellectual property from the company. That is a big no-no. So if you're using it in a work environment, make sure your company has approved using ChatGPT or any of the AI tools in your company, and also make sure they have guidelines around best practices and also a privacy training program to make sure all employees are not doing two things. One, putting their own personal or sensitive information into the AI model or using their own personal accounts in the work environment. Your company or business should be paying for an enterprise or for their own business plan, basically. And then second, you don't want to be using any personal information in it. ChatGPT specifically does have a enterprise plan, But this enterprise plan is for large organizations, and you can't purchase this plan if you're a small business where you could just go in like the regular account to just sign up for like Plus plan. You have to contact the sales team, and the requirement, well, what you get is none of your training data is used. You control all your data, and then you also get to decide who has access to it. So it is for data privacy. However, there's a huge caveat where it's quoted at roughly $60 per month per user. You need a minimum 12-month contract and then a minimum of 150 seats to get started with that program. So that's just a caveat. It's not really for small businesses, but if you're a large organization, they do have the enterprise plan. ChatGPT, only on the Plus plan do they offer a feature called temporary chat. So if you go in the upper left-hand corner, click on the models so you can select the different models. There's the ability to enable a feature called temporary chat. So if we toggle this, turn it on, what happens is on the left-hand side, notice that your chat history is completely grayed out. So none of the chats in here are basically saved. And we're seeing here, the chat won't appear in your history, use or create memories, or be used to train our models. For safety purposes, we may keep a copy for up to 30 days. So they do kind of save it, but they're not using it for training data. They're not going to save it for a long-term period. So that's something to be aware of. Now in ChatGPT, you can see down in the dialog box, we can ask it a question. What is the secret to the universe? And then here we can see a little help dialog box that says temporary chats will not appear in your history and ChatGPT won't remember anything that you ask it. So this is like a one-time discussion that you could continue using ChatGPT in this temporary mode where it's not saved. Then when you're ready to go back to your regular mode, in the upper left-hand corner, there's a little circle right here. So if you click on that, it will take you back to your regular mode where you could change the model, have all your conversation history, and you can continue using ChatGPT in the normal environment. So just to review temporary chat, chats will not appear in your history, but they may keep a copy for 30 days just to be cognizant of. They do not use the chats or discussions in that chat for training and improving their models, because you have to understand, because you have to be aware that all models, whether it be ChatGPT, Claude, Poe, any of Gemini, any of these AI models, they all need new training data. And every conversation that you have with them or use them, both personal or professionally, is going to be used to train future models. That's not a bad thing, but it is something to be cognizant of, because they need the data. They're basically running out of information. They need more data to improve their models. So it's just always to be cognitive of. Now it's your turn to practice. So I have a task here. You're going to switch to temporary chat mode. You're going to ask it a question, take a look at its behavior, the layout, what it looks like, and then switch back to normal mode. That ends this lesson, and I will see you in the next lesson. Thank you.